Hey everyone, so the following is an excerpt from a Patreon bonus show that I just finished recording. It's a response to that recent Gillette commercial that everyone and their mother's been chiming in on. The bonus show that this clip is taken from was completely unscripted, so I apologize in advance for my ums and ahs and for the ungodly noises emanating from my chihuahua. But without further ado, here it is. Thanks for listening. But I figured there was something else I want to cover on the bonus show. I was almost going to talk about it on the main show, but I didn't want to seem too much like I was just, pandering or that I was desperate for clicks or something, because it's an off-topic thing. It's that Gillette ad, that controversial Gillette ad that I can't believe the way it's blown up. Just everyone's talking about it. It's on the mainstream news. It's all over the web, etc. But I found it an interesting topic. But once again, I didn't know if it would be too off topic for the main show and if it would seem like I was just talking about it because I wanted clicks or whatever. But it is something I wanted to chime in on. And I'm not even going to go too much out of my way here. Instead of downloading the file, etc., I might just play the video on my iPad and comment as I go along. I'm just looking at all the different headlines. Here's one here. New Gillette commercial, not an indictment on manhood, experts say. Like, experts on manhood?
The Me Too movement against sexual harassment.
All right, for the sake of our collective sanity, I'm going to speed this up a bit. Anna Kasparian. Yes, let me pause it for it's only like 1:49 long. They call it a short film, and I already feel like I'm just like, now I've seen it so many times. I just felt like I entered some bizarro time distortion field or something where, man, did that first 50 seconds feel long. So it starts off with the classic Gillette theme, footage from a couple of their old commercials or something. Then you see a bunch of young kids crashing through the screen that the commercial's playing on. Then it's showing a bunch of kind of like guys being stereotypically male, harassing women. There's like a woman in the boardroom and a guy's trying to speak on her behalf instead of letting her speak. And it's showing like a comedy being, like a sitcom being recorded, and everyone's laughing at the guy trying to grab the maid's ass and this and that. Let's see, let's continue.
Because we believe in the best in men. Men need to hold other men accountable.
Smile, sweetie. Come on.
To say the right.
I never noticed that. A guy asks a woman to smile.
Not cool. Some already are.
And then there's the catcalling scene or whatever, where there's two guys hanging out in like a doorway or something, and this really attractive. I was gonna say hot. Am I allowed to say that? Girl walks by, and the white guy's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get. It looks like, and the other guy, I don't even know why race should matter. I think it probably did matter to the people who wrote the commercial or whatever. I'm sure they were very mindful of having the right quotient or whatever, the right amount of different ethnicities, make sure that there's some black faces in there, you know. So I guess they're two friends. I don't know. Not a lot of backstory here. There's like a young black guy and a young white guy in a doorway. And the white guy I don't know what he's going. It looks like he's going to do more than catcall. He's like going to, I don't know what. It looks like he's ready to move up on that girl. And his black friend is like, no, man, don't do it. And I actually feel really strongly about catcalling, where I'm against it on a number of levels, as I think any decent human being should be. I just think, it's rude to yell out at someone when they're just trying to mind their own business and get from point A to point B. And especially when, on average, the average man is bigger and stronger than the average woman, and that's not me. I shouldn't even have to clarify this, That's not me making a value judgment about. I'm not saying bigger and stronger makes you better. And I know we're not supposed to talk about sexual dimorphism, but we are a sexual dimorphic species where the two sexes have different physical traits. There's a lot of women who could kick a lot of guys' asses. I'm sure there's a lot of women who could kick my ass, Ronda Rousey, or even some of my female friends, whatever. I definitely don't fancy myself a tough guy or anything like that. And so I think the reason why I bring that up is that adds my chihuahua snoring in the background, having a nightmare or something. It adds an extra dimension of, it's not just being rude, yelling at a stranger as they walk by, but a guy yelling at a woman he doesn't know when she's just trying to mind her own business. There's an element of harassment or danger or almost like a predatory type of thing in there. Because guys in general tend to be bigger, and they also tend to be more violent, more sexually violent, more aggressive. So, yeah, I think I can't even really express how wrong I think catcalling is. That being said, the only reason why I kind of laugh at it in this commercial is that I think a lot of people are really taking this commercial too seriously, where people are destroying their razors. The kind of anti-feminist, anti-SJW types are getting all, their underwear all bunched up over it. Or is that a real expression? But if I'm offended by this commercial at all, it's just on the grounds that in general, I don't like companies morally preaching to me when their end goal is just to sell a physical product. Tell me what the product can do for me. Don't insult my intelligence by trying to preach to me. You know what I mean? I think this is a very good message to send, that women shouldn't be objectified, women shouldn't be harassed, people shouldn't catcall, all that stuff. And that is a message we should try to get across in society. But I don't necessarily think that Gillette is making this commercial out of the goodness of their heart. I think at the end of the day, they're still trying to sell razors, or they're trying to get people to view their brand favorably. And I'm like, don't insult my intelligence. Tell me what your fucking razor does. Well, I imagine it cuts hair. Tell me how good of a shave I'm going to get from it. Is it going to give me those little razor bump things I hate? And so that's like my main gripe with the commercial. But the message itself, I actually agree with. I just doubt the sincerity of where it's coming from. And I don't need people trying to make money off of selling material goods, preaching to me. And what the men and the boys all have in common in this video is that they're all smooth-faced. There might have been one guy with 5 o'clock shadow or something. I don't know. Obviously, I mean, that's because they're trying to sell razors. And I heard someone make a good point that maybe this is kind of a bold move on Gillette's on Gillette's part, because a lot of people are probably moving away from the traditional razor because a lot of men are growing facial hair. Facial hair has become very trendy now. Even obviously you can't see me right now, but I've been letting my facial hair grow out. Even then, though, I still find that I like using a traditional razor for you still got to clean up the neck, even if you're letting your facial hair grow out. Well, actually, I prefer why am I telling you guys all this? I prefer an electric razor just to avoid razor rash, but like a traditional bladed razor or whatever gives you a much smoother, much closer shave than an electric razor ever could. So I still find myself using a little handheld razor sometimes. But yeah, I think, razors aren't in demand the way they used to be just because so many people, so many men are growing facial hair now. So that might have been a factor too in, Gillette trying to really boldly push their product or their brand like this. I'm back through the magic of editing. It just dawned on me while listening back to this that another factor why Gillette might be feeling nervous in the knickers, is that saying? I don't think so, is because of the popularity and the convenience of alternatives like Dollar Shave Club and things like that. And it's funny how this ad has become this kind of political football being tossed around by people on either side of the divide. And I consider myself a left-leaning person, but you guys know me. I'm still kind of anti-political correctness, anti-kind of thought and speech policing, that kind of thing. I don't necessarily toe the party line or fall in lockstep with whatever the left is doing. And so I think it's kind of funny to some degree as a kind of detached observer watching people on kind of the far left go out of their way to defend the commercial, and then the anti-SJW types on the right, anti-feminist types on the right, destroying their razors and shit on the other hand. I'm like, it's just a commercial. To me, the reason why you should be bothered by it is, like I already said, is the fact that it's a damn razor company trying to preach to you morally, Don't insult my intelligence. Hear that? A lot of little dogs, because they have the small little pushed-in faces, they make some very strange noises because they have these breathing difficulties, because of how compact the muzzle is, and they can also get collapsed tracheas and stuff. So the noises are kind of funny, sometimes annoying, but at the same time I always worry when I hear my dog making those noises because I know no creature should naturally be making those noises. That's something we've done to dogs, by the way we've bred them. And I hope that, she's not in too much discomfort or whatever. But I guess that'll probably be it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of the Not So Secret Show. Thank you so much, as always, for supporting the show, both morally and financially. It means a lot. All right, brothers and sisters. Until the next episode of the main show, I guess. And if you missed that, then until the next episode of the bonus show. All right, later.